Okay, we're back with Ron Lewis, and this is his fantastic, tell us, Ron, what's the name of the pumpkin species you're growing here?
These are Atlantic Giant.
Atlantic Giant.
Everybody who grows big pumpkins grows Atlantic Giant.
Okay, the Atlantic Giant. You can see a couple of them poking out between the leaves. And Ron's going to just give us a little bit of a demonstration on pollination and how he gets these big pumpkins growing here.
Well, early in the year, this year it was August the 8th, but some years it's hopefully earlier than that, the pumpkin will produce a female flower. By that time it's already been producing male flowers for several weeks. Once you have a female and it is in bloom, this one in my hand is a female, and you can see the little pumpkin behind it as opposed to the male, which just has a straight stem. But when the female flower opens, which this one isn't yet, then you have to apply the pollen from the male flower to it. And what I did then on August the 8th was I took flowers from my 4 plants. Here's the male flower, and you just rub it to get the pollen on. I took pollen from all 4 plants onto the only female flower that was open that day, and did the hand pollination because the bees aren't that reliable. Eventually they might get around to it, but they might not do the first ones. And so because pumpkins are putting on about 30 pounds a day at the end of the season, then every day that you lose, you're losing a lot of weight, so you don't want to leave it up to the bees.
Okay, so is that something that is on all pumpkin varieties, this
As far as
visual?
I know, pumpkins and squash are both that way, male and female, on separate flowers.
And then you just basically let it go, or do you cut them off after they start producing the pumpkin?
I have let 4 fruit grow this year on the 1 plant that you're looking at.
Okay, so this is just 1 plant here. This is just incredible.
One
it's
plant
a sea
might
of
cover about 3,600
leaves.
square feet.
1 plant would cover 3,600. Of course, again, we're talking about a giant variety that's been bred over the years, not your typical variety, but the same sort of things would apply. Well, that's amazing. Again, another great tip from Ron. Anything to add?
So, well, I've kept 4 4 fruit on the plant, and every time I see another female I take it off, because if it gets pollinated and starts to grow, then it's taking energy away from the other ones.
Right.
4 is about the number I can handle. I usually sell them, give 1 to my son.
Okay.
And if I had many more than that, then I have too many.
And you can't rotate these so they grow round or anything. Once they start,
yeah,
you can kind of...
when we get down to the one at the far end, the big one, you can see that I've kind of stood it up on end.
Okay.
The ones that are on their side, they're okay too, I guess, for now, but eventually as they get heavy under their own weight, they flatten right out.
Right, right.
So I tried to get a nicer looking shape on the big one.
Excellent.
Now, there is a lot of manipulating of the vines that gets done early on. You want to try and expose them to sunlight, untangle them, spread them out.
Okay.
Give yourself a place to walk so that you can work around the vines, and you have to uproot the vine that the pumpkin fruit is on, or it will tear itself off, because the vine anchors itself to the ground. So you have to uproot it, arch it over so that it's away from the ground.
I see.
And I can show you that when we get there a little bit better.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to that. Thank you.